Tonight, the London are told to go to Scotland to get tested for COVID. Good evening. We begin tonight with confusion over tests for coronavirus, with people being told to travel as far as Scotland or Wales to get one. One man who was displaying symptoms told ITV London he was advised to go to Dundee, which meant he wasn't able to get tested. Local government officials fear if others are being put off, it could put lives at risk. The Department of Health say they are targeting testing in the areas that need it most. Chloe Keedy reports. So, Chloe, clearly it's still quite a lot of confusion.
Yeah, that's right. The council leader in Greenwich told us today that he had no national testing capacity hasn't been reduced. They're simply moving resources anywhere.
Yeah, Chloe, thank you. The inquest into the death of a London teenager while on holiday in Malaysia last August has been adjourned. Next tonight, millions over budget and years behind schedule. HS2 is high in cost and controversy. Nonetheless, as digging restarted today, Boris Johnson gave his personal backing to the rail project linking London to Birmingham. The PM says it'll create thousands of jobs, but campaigners question whether the line will even be needed in a post-COVID working world. Sam Holder has more. On this day, 3 years ago, the mother of Corey Jr. Davis was told he was never coming home. The 14-year-old had been shot dead in a park in Newham. Police are still trying to find his killers, and his family say they're still struggling to come to terms with their loss. Well, CJ's mother, Keisha, says one of the hardest things is knowing more could have been done to protect her son. She spoke to Antoine Allen. Now, this week may have been a mix of joy, tears and new rules as many pupils across the capital returned to the classroom. For the majority, it would have been the first time back in school since March when lockdown began. Well, for Year 7 students everywhere, though, starting at their new schools, it is a completely different environment. Carolyn Sim has been to Harris Boys Academy in East Dulwich to speak to some of the children there. Still to come, we'll have the weather plus. But first, if lockdown has shown us anything, it's reminded us of the importance of getting out and about and appreciating nature. Well, that is the thinking behind Horatio's Garden, a project aimed at supporting patients with spinal injuries facing long stays in hospital. Here to create the first garden in Salisbury, and today, the Royal National Orthopaedic Hospital in Stanmore gets its very own Horatio's Garden. Well, we can go there now to talk to Horatio's mum. To talk to Olivia, can we start with you? This was something that Horatio was really passionate about, wasn't it? And he came up with the idea with his dad, didn't he? That cut out, didn't you? Because a lot of this was built actually during lockdown. Let's go back to you for a second. You know, it was incredible. It was so tragic what happened to Horatio, who was only 17, wasn't he? But it must give you incredible comfort to know that you are fulfilling his passion and his dream and that you're continuing. This is his legacy, isn't it? Well, the Houses of Parliament, a London landmark and famous the world over. This year marks the 150th anniversary of the building. As it looks today, it was designed by Augustus Pugin and Charles Barry after they won a competition in the 1830s. But then it was at the forefront of modern architecture, but it's since had to adapt for the 21st century. Well, David Wood got a tour of Parliament with someone who's pretty familiar with it. Henman Hill, or Murray Mound as it's become known, may have been out of action this year after Wimbledon was, of course, cancelled. But today the famous courts were back in action. Not quite the big-name stars we're used to seeing, but some of the frontline staff who worked tirelessly throughout the pandemic now given special access. Will Davies went to SW19 to find out more. Now, from our amazing frontline staff to some everyday heroes. During the pandemic, we've seen remarkable acts of bravery and kindness by countless people in our communities. And there's a new book making sure they don't go unrecognised. Sally Williams met some of the unsung heroes, including a 73-year-old who raised £12,000 for the NHS. And the book, Unsung Heroes, will be out in November. Weather now, and it's been another fairly grey day out there, but is sunshine on the way as we head into the weekend? Here's Manali Luca with the full forecast. Just before we go, there is a new programme starting here on ITV this weekend. All around Britain, we'll be bringing you some of the very best news stories from across the country, including a few of our own. Here's Ranveer Singh and Alex Beresford with all the details. And that is all from us for now. We are back with the latest after ITV News at 10. Coming up, Charlene White with the ITV Evening News. But from me and the rest of the London team, bye-bye.